Hello guys, this is BuyFix. Today on the 8th of October 2023, we are back again for the weekly top-down analysis on volatility indices. So guys, before we start, we usually check what? We check our fundamentals, right? We take the technical fundamentals of the market before we take trades, right? So we check the US dollar index to know the overall direction of the market. So right now you could see that what we analyzed the previous week is exactly what is playing out in US dollar index, right? Because if you check in, right, you're going to see that the market went up and then came back. Now coming back for a nice correction there, and we're still in a valid uptrend, right? So after the rejections, we'll be seeing the market trying to reach this high, and this high correlates with our resistance zone here, where we'll be having most of the resistance zones here. Right now we got rejected due to this zone, right? So that means we're gonna adjust our resistance zone just above that wick, right? That's where the market respects. So that exact zone is where we got rejected from, right? That's the exact zone we got rejected. So right now, after the corrections, right, an impulse, we came here, fill up the correctional zone here. Don't forget we have a zone here, support zone. So we could get a nice support zone and then look for possible buys, right? We should see more bullish impulse in the US dollar index. So for we to confirm that, let's go down to the smaller time frame. Is there any room for change of direction soon? So let's just move in and then we'll see what patterns we're seeing, right? That is a movement we have there. You could see that this crash was a nice one and we got a nice support zone here to work with. This on the smaller time frame, right? But right now, as you can see, we're still in a bearish fall. The sales could reach up to the zone where the support zone is in, and the correction could get ended here, right? Could get ended here unless maybe something back down. As you can see, that movement we're seeing is a bearish continuation, and then we spike up. Don't forget we have a nice imbalance here, so ideally we should see some more nice impulse to the upside. You understand? Then we buy on the smaller time frame till we hit the zone we are interested in. Right, on the highest time frame, this is the movement we marked out, and as you can see, the market did as expected, because we predicted this zigzag movement, right? We predicted the zigzag movement and the market did such. Right, this is the exact stuff the market did, right? So ideally the market should be coming back to that zone, then we get support here, getting a W pattern, and then we push back up, and then we push back up. So you could see that, right? The market will come back, at least fill up the zone, and then we'll start looking for support here, and then the market will be heading back to this resistance zone. This resistance zone has a major zone because the confluence there are a little bit much, right? The confluence here are a little bit much. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame, so we could have the zones, right? You see these zones here. We have this particular zone where we're expecting, we have some zones there to work with. So that's why we're expecting the market to see some nice buys from here and then hit the zone. So that's it for US dollar index. Closely by when the market opens, right, we'll be waiting to see a change of direction first to confirm if we're gonna continue buying. But right now you can see we're still in a valid trend there, a valid uptrend. So right now we've completed the corrections, so it's gonna be what, and a move. So, and if we get supported, it's gonna be what, a double bottom and a W pattern. So it's gonna be a nice spike up and then a retracement back to this zone, right, back to that zone, and then we continue back up. So that's it. So let's look at other pairs, right, to see if they correlate with what we're seeing here on the US dollar index. Okay guys, this on the Euro US dollar index pair, right, the EU, right, and you can see our analysis on this particular pair stands. We started selling from this particular and from the previous week. As you can see here, we predicted that ideally, since the market will get support from here, we should see some change of direction to fill up what, the liquidity here, and then we do what, we start looking for buys. The buys will reach up to this zone and then we continue selling the market to the downside. So are we going to continue? Let's look it up on the highest time frame. Now on the highest time frame, you could see that all this particular movement is just a nice correction, just like the way we see this is a nice impulse to the downside, and we went for a nice correction and then an impulse. So right now we are going for what? We're going for a nice impulse to complete this movement here. We get support here and then we break out, right, go back for a nice correction, and then we continue selling what, we continue selling the market to the downside, right, we continue selling the market to the downside. We got support at this particular confluence here where we had a nice support. The market came there and then got support, right, and right now you could see there that the market is doing what, the market is doing as exact, right, after getting support is now looking for what, is now looking to go back up and then get, once we get a nice rejection here, we start looking for sells on Euro USD. Right now you see the corrections we're in, right, if the market comes back on the US dollar index, right, if the US dollar keeps falling, we might see ourselves completing that zone. But you know, we still have where the market has to fall to hit up the double bottom we saw, which was supposed to give us a W pattern on Euro USD on DXY. So ideally that fall will be the compilation of these, right. Once we have a bullish stop, so that it goes up and then leave a wick, and then we continue crashing to the downside. As you can see, the market is just cleanly pushing down, making sure to fully mitigate all its candles. You see all the candles here, they are not unfinished business there. The market left nice wicks to confirm the sell continuation to the downside, right. Once we break that zone, it's going to be what, a nice continuous sell there on Euro USD. So if we go down to the smaller time frame, you're still going to see that same particular pattern. So are we in a bullish kind of stuff, or we are starting to change the direction? So with the pattern we're seeing here, we're first going to see some nice rejection back down, and then we look for buy, something of this nature on the smaller time frame, right. Ideally the market has created a new high, so we'll come for a nice correction and then we push the market to the upside. So guys, that's it for Euro USD, and our zone for where we'll start looking for sales will be here after the correction. Once the market buys up to this zone, we'll start looking to sell, ideally, just like the previous confluences we have had. So that's it for Euro USD. So hello guys, this is for GBPUSD, right, the British pound and the US dollar. Let's have a look at from the higher time frame to see exactly what price action we're getting, right. Don't forget, we're in a bearish trend, just like the way we saw GBP Euro USD, right. So ideally I was predicting what, a buy from this particular zone, but it didn't go through, the market has to go down more and then get the confidence to fill up the zone. Right now we are still, we are still in a downtrend because we haven't sensed any change of directions yet, but because we're still looking bearish, right? We just got some nice support and the market is pushing back up. So ideally, since we have enough liquidity here, the market is interested in on the trend line liquidity, right? So ideally we should be expecting what? Should be expecting the market to come back to this zone, right, due to what we are seeing, and then the market coming back down to continue selling. Don't forget we are in a bearish market, and we're in a bearish market. And we're just looking at all possible correctional zones where the market could easily go and get support from. You can see here we have a nice support zone there, right? So ideally this is where we got support, so we're expecting the market to come back around the zone, and from there we'll now be looking for possible sells. And it's going to correlate with what? The US dollar, the movement, right, and the continuation to the downside. So a straightforward thing, right? On the weekly we're still bearish, so we're looking for buy impulse and then a sell. So guys, you could see since all these guys are trading against the US dollar, the Euro USD having USD as a quote currency and GBP having USD as the quote currency, you could see all of them having almost the same setups, right? So ideally we are expecting all particular setup a nice bullish push up and then a crash continues, right? Due to what we have seen, you see USD is just on a retracement, right, to continue being bullish to the upside. So that's it for the GBPUSD, and this is what we're expecting it to be during now the week, and let's see how it plays out. Then we continue selling the market to the downside. Hello guys, and this is the US dollar Canadian dollar, right? You could see the previous week, right? We saw this pattern, right? We saw this pattern on the weekly, right, which we said it's going to be what? A bullish continuational pattern, but the market was giving us what? A vibe. So all through the other weeks, right, this was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, almost 2 weeks this particular market has been selling, but during the week we got support at around this particular zone and the market spiked up. The market finished the corrections, and the funny part was I was selling and holding on to this market, and when the market reversed I got some nice profit and I went out. Right now during the weeks the market spiked so much. Wow, this was nice, and this is now signaling a new pattern, right? We have created a new high which confirms we are now in a confirmed bullish trend. So ideally the market has moved so much, so ideally what we'll be expecting the market to do is to give us a what? Alright, fill up this fair value gap here, and then we continue our bullish trend to the upside. So well, let's see, are we going to continue selling the market to the downside? Let's go down to the smaller time frame, like the 4 hours time frame. We could see we are still in a valid downtrend here, because this is where we broke out of the trend, right, and we came back for what? We came back for the retest, and then the market is selling. So this is going to be a nice sell there on CAD. It's going to be a nice sell. So with the support where we are seeing US dollar will go, CAD will first hit the US dollar back down. You could see here up to the other block on the 1 hour time frame we have a lot of what? We have a lot of liquidity, right? Some imbalance along the way, right? You see there's an imbalance here, there's another imbalance, other blocks that needs to be fully mitigated. You see the zones, the market needs to come down to that zone. So ideally on the US dollar CAD we are looking bearish after the retracement, right? After the retracement of this particular spike you see there, it's gonna be what? A nice bullish spike to the upside, right? So we're gonna be looking the premium and the equilibrium of this particular movement to the upside, and then where we got rejected, and then we started selling the market to downside. So ideally, I'll be looking for the market to come all the way down to the zone, right? I'll be looking for the market to come all the way down to this zone. So we'll be looking for what? The market to sell more to the downside on US dollar CAD. After the downside, we'll now be looking what? To speculate on a buy. So it's going to be something of this nature. It could even go more lower. It could go lower more than this zone, maybe down up to this zone, and then we get what? We start a new trend up. Understand, to continue being bullish. The pattern we saw on the highest time frame is telling us this is a bullish continuational pattern. So that's it for USD CAD. Let's move to the other pair. Hello guys, this is US dollar Japanese yuan, right, or Japanese yen. You call it UJ, right? So you could see some news that came out. So many accounts will have been, have blown off, unless if they applied proper risk management, because this was a nice sell that happened to the US dollar. As you can see, the market rejected back up and then went back, fully mitigating this candle. From there, I'm still looking at a nice bearish pattern on UJ, because you could see here we are bullish, right, all the time. We are bullish, and then we were likely, right, if you check the analysis we did previously, you will notice that we marked out some zones there where we are speculating for the market to go into what? Corrections. You could see the arrow crossing. So let's have a bigger look from the highest time frame, because I know we did some kind of analysis to confirm our claims. Let's go down to the weekly. Yes, it is the analysis, right? This is analysis. We are looking at for the weekly time frame to first come for what? To first come for a nice correction, right? Somewhere around the zone. It's gonna first be this 4. So it's gonna be a nice sell correction there. We'll come back, get a support here, and then maybe likely try to go back up, or we break out, right, and we fill up the weekly liquidity zone. So it depends on what the market makers want to do and the economy of the country you are looking at, right? So we're looking out for the economy of the country we are in. So you see now that correlates with what we are seeing there on where, right? So from here, if we get a clean breakout there, we'll now be looking to first come and fill up this liquidity here. If the market continues up, then we start looking for buy. But if it doesn't, right, it's going to be a long kind of corrections on the weekly time frame. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame. Let's see, is there any change of directions? Okay, so far we can see a nice change of directions there, because the market spiked up and now we see we're getting some kind of rejections. Now if the rejection continues, it's going to be a nice change of direction, and we'll be looking to what? Sell the market to the downside. So let's still go to the 1 hour to see, is this going to be a bearish kind of stop? Don't forget, we got what? A nice support zone here, supply zone just above here, and we have a nice support. So ideally on the 1 hour time frame, this is looking as if we are what? We are ranging. We're ranging between the zones after the breakout and these zones after the breakout. So ideally, since we are looking to sell, we'll be looking for only sell opportunities, right? We'll sell the market to downside. Sell the market to downside until long is approved. So let's say the market decides to sell, and then after the sell, she broke out, right? She can break out and then want to what? Continue selling due to the pattern. The last fall was a bearish one, so I'm speculating for a bearish for continuation on UJ. So that's it, a straightforward one on USD. Let's move to the other pair. Hello guys, this is AUD Japanese yen, that's Australian dollar, Japanese yen. If you remember all our analysis we've been doing, we noticed that this was a bullish continuational pattern, right? And then what happened? The market broke above, right? Gave us a new high, and then the market went down. Now you can see we broke out of the bullish channel we are in on AUDJPY, right? Giving us a first step of change of direction. If the market gets support here after the breakout, and then we're going to continue selling AUDJPY to the downside. But let's see. And you could see here the market has fully mitigated this candle on this candle. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame to see, right? You could see there that it came back for that fair value gap, and we are looking forward. We'll be looking to sell. AUD because it has gave a nice change of directions there, and the market makers can easily continue selling, right? This is a nice clean breakout and then a retest. Right now you can see we're having a nice rejections there on AUDJPY. So this is a good one. We'll be looking for sales until otherwise, and our next zones will be what? Let's go back to the 4 hours to see a clear view. If the bearish market continues, then you see we came all the way down here and get support. So you see where we got support from, because the market sold up till that zone. Can you see that? The market sold up to that zone. The market sold up to that zone. So ideally, right, we'll be looking forward. If this is a nice change of direction and we don't go back into our trend, right, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be a nice setup there, and we'll be looking forward to sell the market down. Right, we must sell the market down, but if it continues pushing, because ideally this was a bearish continuational pattern, so ideally it should crash more down on AUDJPY. And our next demand zone, right, it will be our first TP, right, until we sell the market down. Because overall, right, with this, it's showing us that this particular movement is looking bearish, so we're supposed to continue bullish, but after the correction you could see the market failed to make a new high there, so we are now crashing to the downside. So that's it for you, that AUDJPY, because it's a straightforward pair, right? It just depends on what you're seeing and what I'm seeing. You could see that because of that rejection and a bearish flag there, right, confirms why we're selling, right? Anything can happen, but what we're seeing now is looking bearish. So that's it for AUDJPY. Let's move to the other pair. So hello guys, this is US dollar Swiss franc, right? That's USD CHF. It's a France currency trading against the US dollar, right? So right now you see we marked some zones where we're expecting, and the market cleanly break that zone. So for we now, we're going to patiently wait for what? The market should finish up the corrections, right? Let it finish up the corrections, and then we start looking forward. We start looking for buys from that particular zone. This is a very, very straightforward pair because it left its zones very, very clear. Meets the zones so many very, very clear. So ideally on USDJPY, I'll wait for the market to completely sell. From here now, I'll be looking for buys after the corrections on US dollar JPY. As you can see, we are previously on a what? We are previously on a nice downtrend there, and the market did a very, very nice thing, right? We broke out of the channel, and as you can see, we are pushing up. So that means we're coming back for a nice retracement back to the zone, right? This could be the equilibrium of this particular market, and then we'll start looking for buys at around it, because the sales have already started, and it's going to be a long one, because we have an M pattern. So it's going to sell up to this zone and then go back up. So that's it for USD CHF. Let's move to the other pair. So hello guys, this is the New Zealand dollar, the US dollar, right? So these are pairs, right? We're trading. If you remember all the analysis we did on New Zealand, right? You could see that the market played out very, very well. The market was ranging, so we started selling. It hit our TP, then went back up, and then we entered the ranging channel. But right now, as you can see, we broke below that ranging channel, and we are looking for what? We're looking for this is a nice breakout there, but right now the market is failing to create a new high. So ideally, if the market continues that way, we're going to see a nice bearish flag to the downside, because the pattern I'm seeing here on the daily time frame is looking bearish, and has a lesser volume, which could signify in any direction the market is going, it's gonna come up with a massive sell, right? Due to the way the stops are. So let's go down to the 1 hour. So you see, this was where we were speculating after the corrections, right? The market should push, the market went back up, and now the market is buying. So right, so we predicted after the corrections for the market to buy, but you see the market went down more, right? Went down more, and then got support at around this zone there, right? We got support at around this particular zone where we marked, right? And you see the market, when the market came there, made a nice spike there, and then we continued up. But right now, as you can see, we're in a nice correction. The impulse are very, very good, which could signal that the market is actually going for a nice buy there. So right now we're going to see a little bit of rejections, right? Maybe open up the market, a little bit of rejections down, and then we continue buying. So if we fail to break this high, so for the NZD USD, right, we'll be looking for what? We'll be looking for a little bit of rejections to continue our buys to the upside. But if we fail to close above this high, then it will not be what? Will not be giving us a double top there, and then we fail, and then we break out, right? NZD. NZD is also a nice slow pair. You understand? So once you minimize your risks and maximize your minimize your risks, and then maximize your profit. So that's it for NZD USD. Let's go to the other pair. So guys, we'll just wait for a nice fall to come down, and then we'll look for more buys to continue up, right? Because if we check the highest time frame, like the 4 hours time frame, you're gonna see that the market is moving giving us vibe to continue, because the last movement we had was a bullish stop. But the most important stuff is this particular market is looking bearish. Why? Right, we are supposed to get a nice support below this lower high, but we broke below. It could signal we're getting rejected here, and then it's gonna be a massive. So two scenarios is either we continue up, right, go above these, and then we come back for a retracement, and then we continue. And the most reliable pattern is, right, the market getting rejected here, and then we crash back down to continue selling. Because if we check the weekly or the daily time frame, you're gonna see that we are in a bearish trend, and what we are having here is just a nice correction back to that zone. So it's going to be a massive sell instead on the weekly. So that's it for New Zealand dollar and the US dollar. So NZD USD, let's move to the other pair. So hello guys, this is the US crude oil, right? On the what? On the weekly time frame. You could see that we got, after the spike out, right? This is a bullish continuation pattern. As you can see, we cleaned the first of the block, then we got rejected from the other block. So right now we are looking forward a possible reversal for me to continue buying the market to the downside. So let's see, is the buying going to come, right, anytime soon? So let's go down to the deal. As you can see with what we're seeing here, right, we're supposed to get support at around this particular zone to go back up, but breaking below this particular zone could mean a lot of things, either preparing to change direction for a massive sell or a continuation. But right now you can see we are looking for what? We're looking for buys. So ideally we need to go back and break that high, or we got rejected at the middle here and then we continue selling the market to the downside. See that, right? See that. So we're looking forward either a lower high to continue to give us a lower low, so, or we go back and then clean that high to continue what? Buying the market to the upside. So it's a clean kind of stuff on this particular chart. Let's go to the highest time frame. Are we buying up? Right, you can see some bullish stuff, but what is our confluence, right? The confluence is going to be what? The zone here, this support zone. So if we can come and break above, then we'll be looking for what? The market to go back up, fully mitigate this order block, right, that gave this imbalance. Then we continue selling the market to the downside. It's going to be a short sell there until we confirm that we're going long or going short. So that's it for the US dollar, the crude oil, right? US oil. Let's move to BTC. Hello guys, it's a nice one on gold spot, right? It's a nice one. As you can see, all our analysis on gold spot from the previous week, you could see after we predicted the market is going to go back up, then actually meet our zones, right? But the sales came in massively, went close to our entry zone, and the sales came in massively. Now the most important stuff is where we said gold is going to get support from, right? Around this particular zone right at the 1800s, right? That's where we predicted that gold is going to get support from. To we have left some nice space there. We have left some nice liquidity space there that gold could come back to do. Is it really going to come back? Yes. Why? Now you could see there's an imbalance candle here, there's an imbalance candle here. Ideally gold should go at least up to the zone, right? Something of this nature will buy, and then we come up to that zone and then reject to continue selling. So that's a straight kind of stop there on gold, right? Making gold a very good opportunity to catch a buy correction, and then we sell long, right? Ideally no market just go in a straight line, so it goes in a what? Zigzag pattern. Understand? So right now it gets support, fill up this imbalance, fill up the other imbalance at the top there. The market will possibly go further down for a long sell. So that's it. That's a short one for gold. And let's move to what? Let's move to BTC. Hello guys, if you remember our analysis on BTC the last week, right, you will notice, right, we said the market is going to buy. This was where we left the market the last time. So the market came back for the corrections we predicted, and we are looking to what? Push up. Now the most important stuff is the support zone here. If the market fails to continue up, then we are coming back down. Right, from the week we're in, as you can see, we're already seeing a nice change of direction. But right now, ideally, we should be seeing the market coming back down, up, and then we crash back down. BTC is looking bearish, but let's not conclude. Let's go to the daily time frame to see the overall structure of the market. Okay, with these confirms what? With these closing above confirms what? That we're in a bullish trend. So ideally, what we might be seeing is not a much bearish fall to the downside. It's going to be a correction first, and then what? We start looking for a long buy. Get rejected, and then we enter again to continue. You understand? So we're expecting something of that nature to happen around that particular after the buys, right? It will come back for a retest, and then we start looking for what? More buys after the retest. So guys, there's a quick one on the pairs, right? So just go through them, have an insight of what could happen in the market with what we have seen on DXY and other pairs. So we should be seeing a pretty good rally during the week. So this is by FX. I'm checking out.